Hi guys, good to see you all. If you want to put where you're from in the chat, that'd be cool. Oh, it's good to see some new faces and some regulars. Tracy, Geraldine, John, how you doing? Can you hear me okay? Sweden. Oh, we got Virginia. So Helen's from Sweden. We've got Geraldine's from Virginia, USA. Hi, Geraldine. Tracy. Oh, yeah. Worcester. Wild and windy Worcester. Yeah, for sure. Been a lovely day today. It's beautiful. Okay, right. Well, I had quite a lot. We're actually signing up for this event, but I'm not sure. People that are regular know that I start at 4 o'clock, but for some reason it went to GMT in the timing for the webinar, so it showed an hour later. So I corrected it, but I'm not sure if the mails kind of went out. So a little bit of a mess up, but you know, I've been doing a lot. So great that you guys are here anyway. That's the main thing. And the others can catch up on the replay anyway. So it's all good. We're going back to replays. So where am I from? I'm from St Ives in Cornwall. That's in the southwest, or the west, the very west, right down the bottom, right up the other end, right near the jump off point, Land's End. It's pretty good. All right. So guys, what we're looking at today, I don't like to repeat the same thing I'm doing, because I've done videos on like how to use Canva and things like that, but I thought we'd get a little bit more creative with it and open your eyes up to what you can do for free. Now, right, bear in mind, right, I don't use these programs. These are free that we're using now. I use professional programs, so I'm very familiar with my professional programs. So if I'm kind of like, where the hell's that, then it's just because I don't use these all the time. But I did run through a few tests today to show you how to create some of this stuff that we're going to look at, and I think you'll be like, wow, you know, I can do that sort of stuff in Canva. Yeah, because we're going to do some animations in Canva. So some simple text animations to just lift your page and give you some ideas. Now, you can get as creative as you like with this stuff. So although I'm showing you how to do things, you just need to bear in mind the principles of what's happening, and then sort of try things out on your own. Just have fun with it. We're playing with images, like, guys, so like images and graphics. When you're doing it, you can really get creative. And what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't look very good and you throw it in the garbage bin, you know, and you do something else and it's better. It's all learning. So there's going to be some really good effects going on today, and I can't wait for you to sort of see a few things that we're doing. And we're also going to be doing some things in the Zenler platform itself. So I'm going to be putting the stuff in there, and I'm going to be showing you how, using different images, you can get one display for a desktop or tablet and another look for something like a mobile. And I'm going to share my screen now and show you guys what I've been up to. So here we go. So what you're seeing now is animated GIFs. Okay, now this top one is done directly in Canva. It's really easy to do. The second one down is using a program called Pixabay. And then I have an image here, and this was done by me. No, it wasn't. It was a photograph I got off Pixabay, and I got this photograph on Pixabay because I just wanted to show you how you can play around with Pixabay and create some really good effects. So this is one effect that you can create using Pixabay, which looks pretty cool. And another one is this. So notice the difference. I kind of like really pushed some of the saturation. And the last one down here is our little owl friend, but there's a little bit of a difference with this one, because you can see I've got a gradient going over the top and it's leading into a block of color. Now this is live text, guys. So a lot of you, let's get one thing straight to start with. If you can use live text, always do. Why? Because search engines pick up on live text. The other thing is that if you put text in and embed it, print it into an image. When you reduce it down for mobile, that image reduces down, down, down until you cannot read the text. So whereas live text can wrap, text that's actually embedded into an image will not do that. So you've got two choices. If you want to do that, you've got two choices. You can set up a different image for tablet and a different image for mobile. And using the principles that I'm going to show you, that's how you can do it. But generally try to keep live text because search engines pick up on it. So that is one thing. So I'm going to show you what happens with this image when I go to a mobile. So we've got it like this. And if I check the page out here and we go into mobile performance down here, you're going to see that our image, if it loads, has changed. So the gradient's at the bottom now, and we still got hoot hoot. And if I go to tablet, it goes back to what it was before. Now, this is really simple to do, and it just involves using two images to do that. So we're going to start, first of all, creating this one at the top. And then I'm going to show you how to create this. And the tools we're going to use, I'm going to put that into the chat so you guys can get it. So make sure you copy the chat. So I'm going to go, and the first one we're going to use obviously is Canva. So hopefully you guys, this is all using the free account as well. I've done stuff before and I've had the pro account active, and that has messed people up because they've gone, I can't do that because it's not, I'm using the free account. So this is all with the free account. So we're also going to be using a program called Pixabay. Yep. Tracy loves Canva. Yeah, it's amazing. You can do some amazing things in Canva. And we're also going to be using a online animator. Well, that's an animated Gif Maker. Now, it's the first time I've used this. It worked because you saw that example, but I haven't used this much. So you might have to have a little play around with it. Hopefully everything goes okay, but we are live, so anything could happen. But we love that, don't we? So there are the three pieces of software that we're using. These are online services. I think you have to sign up with Pixabay, but we're using the free edition. Now you can pay for it as well. So I'm not a referrer or anything. Okay, you can, if you want to buy it, you can buy it. You can subscribe to it, but I'm not. You know, I haven't given you any links. I've just given you the Pixabay link. So get one thing straight. I'm not doing referrals or any of those sort of things, trying to make money. We don't do that at Zenler. Okay. So let's jump into the first one, which is Canva. And we're going to do, so I'm in the Canva dashboard, and we're going to create this effect that we've got going on here. Okay. So, woo, wow. And you can do what you like. As long as you understand the principles, it can be really easy. Some of you guys might have already done this. So we're going to go to create a design. Now, with animated GIFs, you do not want to go really big with it, because what happens is with an animated GIF, it's basically an image, and then you change to another image. And then you might change to another image and another image and another image. Now, what happens is that image has an image size, yeah? But when you add another frame, it's another image size. So quite quickly, the file size can build up on animated GIFs. This is why we want to keep them quite simple. So they could be used for memes, those sort of things. They could be done for like Instagram posts. So you can see these things where like maybe a cartoon character comes up and then you see a little voice bubble go blop. That could be done with using the method that I'm about to show you. So, but they keep it very simple. So it's like bang, bang, bang. Now you can get really complicated with animated GIFs, and I have done, but I don't use these pieces of software to do it. It just takes too long. I actually use Photoshop, which means I can actually create frames. I can actually do it as a kind of edited timeline, and makes it easier for me, but this will work for you. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we don't have the size too big. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to say a size of round about, let's just say 300. Let's go a bit bigger. You can see this, you'll play around with this to have a look. So I've gone on custom size and I'm putting 500 by 500. So I'm going to keep it square. Okay, now you don't have to, I'm just keeping it square for this. So I'm going to go create a new design. So there is my little square come up. By the way, guys, to see how it looks at actual size, because I know you guys don't know what like 300 pixels looks like, and that's what we're working in, pixels. So a pixel is one dot on the screen. And whenever you're working with graphics for online media, it comes in pixels, okay? Now, if you're printing it out, of course, you'd be using document size and resolution, but we don't have to worry about that. We're just looking at the pixels. Okay, so to see inside Canva, to see this at 100%, you can just set this to 100%. So that is how big my image is at 500 pixels. So if this feels too big for you, then obviously you can just do a new design and set it to like 250, which would be half the size of this, and that'll get you going. So I'm going to stick with this just because it's nice and clear, and I'm going to come in a little bit here using a little drag roller, and we're going to go into elements. And I'm going to keep an eye on the chat today, which I don't normally do. So just in case any of you pick up. So I'm going to go, and if you look here under elements, you can see you've got all these shapes. But if you click see all, it gives you lots of different shapes. Now, I don't want to do the circle, which we did in this one, because we want to be different here. So I'm going to go in and grab something like this. Looks like a little badge. Okay. Let's grab this. Let's drag it out. Notice if I click on it, I can drag it out. Okay, so I'm going to frame it in here quite nicely, something like that. And you'll notice it will jump. So when you get to the middle, it'll give you that middle line. Boom. And if you come down, it give you there. So that's quite cool. And then I'll come into here and we'll choose a color. Now you can choose a color here and use this little slider. Or you can choose one of the default ones down there. You can put a hexadecimal number, which is a web number, in there if you have one as well. So we created a nice little badge. So we'll say like gold star badge or something. So I'm now going to go into text, and you can see I've got this little wow thing. Now you don't need to use that. You could use any of these. I'm just going to use this one. I'm going to go wow, drop that in the middle. And you're going to notice I can resize this. I can also go in and change the color as well. So I might change it to a white in there. I'm not sure I can change the background color. Maybe I can if I no, it's giving me that option. All right, it doesn't matter. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you choose. You could choose this, you could choose this, you could choose a normal heading. And we're going to animate it now. So up the top here, you can see it says animate. Now, this applies to what I've clicked. So I've clicked this piece, and now I'm going to apply an action to it. So let's go to animate. And then you're going to see on the left-hand side, this is with the free version, that if you go over these, it's going to give you all these lovely effects. That one looks quite good. Or breathe. Some of them are pro, so you can't use those ones. I think I like that. So I'm going to click that, and that's been applied. Okay, so you can view it. Now, this will tell you how long between animations it actually goes. So you can see in here, it says 5 in here. And if I click that and open it up, you'll see that every 5 seconds, this will animate. So it will play it, then it will be 5 seconds, and then it will repeat. So if I come into here again, and then I close that, you're going to see there's an option up here, and I can make it faster or slower. So you need to click this first, and then you need to close it. Then you get this little option come up. If you click this, you can reset the timing. So let's make it crazy. Let's make it every sort of 2 seconds. Okay, so you see it's changed there. So every 2 seconds, it's going to do this. So that's it. That's all we need to do. Now, remember that we've animated one element, but you could animate multiple elements inside here. So to get this out and put it in your website, really easy. We're going to click download, and for file type, we're going to come down to GIF. It says short clip, no sound. Doesn't carry sounds, GIFs. They just animate. So I've got this in here. I'm going to click download. That's going to download into my download folder. It should be in there. You can see the ones I've already done. And let's open the folder. There it is. So it's in my download folder, which is there. Okay, you can't see anything going on because it's not displayed it. But let's put this into our website now. So I'm going to jump across to the editor. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to clone this one out just so I can drop this new one in. So let's clone that out. Let's go to settings. Remember, normally you just drop an image in. I've just cloned it and I'm going to go across when this opens up. I'm going to select this from my download folder. So I'm going to go to settings. Inside here, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to go to upload folder and there's our wow GIF there. Nothing's happening yet. And I'm going to click open. And then I'm just going to click upload. So you can see it animating now. Click upload. Bang, it's in there. Click save. Go into here, refresh. And now we have this. So imagine the uses for this. We could use this for things like maybe have a little red button on there that's like flashing or something or pulsing next to a word that says play. And then people action people to go to a video or these sort of things. You know, you could have it just a little bit on an image just to make it look cool. So all these things are really easy to do. So guys, what do you think? I'm going to open my sound up. Right, you should be able to unmute. I know John's got a question. You had your hand up.
No, that was a thumbs up.
Oh, thumbs up. All right.
All the places we can put that stuff now.
Yeah.
And immediately I'm thinking, okay, so if I want people to kind of replay something or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, whenever you see these little things, it's really an eye opener when you see like how to put an animated GIF together, because lots of people use it. You've probably been on Facebook and you can use these on Facebook. You can post it on Facebook and animate. That's why you see a lot of these things animating. And they're not like part of a video. And you're like, well, how are they getting that to animate? It's just basically an animated GIF and they're used all over the place. They can also be used in emails as well. So if you see some stuff going on in an email, then animated GIFs can be used for that as well. I must admit, not all email clients use them, but a lot do. So that is one way to create the animated GIF. So you can really have fun with that and play around and get some crazy effects going on. So I want to show you another way to do it now. Now, Canva is really good, but it doesn't give you absolute control over everything. You know, say I wanted to do a specific animation, a specific move or something, you know, I want to get it to move in one place and I want something else to flick up. It's quite hard to do it in here because we have no timeline. Now, I haven't played around yet, and maybe some of you have, but there is a setting in here that allows you to create little videos. I don't know if they can be converted into GIF. I think not, but they might be able to. But in any case, I'm going to show you how to create the next one, which is this one here. Now, it looks quite simple because it hasn't got this going across, but I've actually told it to do this. And we're going to use two programs to do this. One is going to be Pixabay, which is this, and we're going to make an animated GIF. We're going to basically pull a sequence of images in to make it. So I'm going to come in Pixabay. The one I like to use is Pixabay E. I'm going to click that, and you can see I've already got a few things going on in here that I'm going to show you. This is going to be cool. You're going to love this. I'm going to go create new. I'm going to set the same size as I did before. It's going to give me what's called a blank canvas. So I'm going to click create, and I've got a canvas now here. To see the size, you can go to 100%, and like everything else, you can zoom in and out as well if you need to. I'm going to keep it like this. And I'm using the Control+ key on the keyboard to zoom in. Hold the Control key, hit the plus or the minus to zoom in and out. So what you're going to find here is Pixabay works a bit like Photoshop, and that's why I chose it. So you can build up a layer of images. So you put things on layers, you stack them in an order. A little bit like Canva does. Canva stacks it in an order, And you can do things like, if I right click that, because there's an object here and this is on the front, if I right hand click it, I can send it to the back. It disappears because it's now behind this object. So if I right hand click here, send to back, it goes to the back. But obviously with pixel art, it's very visible because it's here. You can see the stacking order. Now, whenever you see this kind of dark color and these little checkers, it means that it's transparent. Okay, and now this is key. Transparency is key because it allows you to put things on top of different colors. So it can be really good. So I'm going to first of all create a circle. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to select this little marquee, and I've got a circle ellipse here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag this out. I'm holding the shift key to keep it as a circle. So I'm going to drag that out like that. And then I'm going to use the bucket tool. You can see all these tools. If you mouse over them, it's a really easy explanation of what they do. Some of them you probably never use, but the common ones are kind of these lasso tools. And there's also in there something called feather. And that allows you to basically feather out the edging. So it goes from a solid color to like transparent or over the top of another color. So it feathers it out. But I've got it on 0, so it's going to be a really hard, sharp edge. So I'm going to fill it with this orangey color. So you can click in there and you can choose a color. So you can go through all of these and you can choose a color. Let's choose something completely different, actually, like a cyan. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to use the bucket tool now, which I've got here, and I'm going to dump that in there. There we go. So now I want to get rid of what's called the marching ants. So you can press Control D to get rid of those. And now I have this on a transparent background. So let me just show you or prove to you that it is transparent. Down here in the layer tab, we can go to, and hold on, here we go to empty layer. And I'm going to fill it with something like a darker blue. And then I'm going to fill that in there. So it looks like it's disappeared, but it's just a stacking order. If I stack this like that, it's going to go the right way around. So you can see that stacking order that you can get on these. So I can turn it off here as well. I can turn that layer off. I'll leave it on for now. And the next layer I want to add is going to be a text layer. So I'm going to go in this little plus. I'm going to hit text and I'm going to put crazy jumping text. Select all. I can change the style of that. And you can choose a type. So guys, like in here, whenever you see, just like Canva, when you see these little crowns, it means that you need the paid service to use that. But they still give you a lot of choice in here. You can have a look and see a font that you like the look of. Let's choose that one. That'll do. And you can see I can change the color in here. So let's make it black. You can change the size. Yeah, let's do it like that. And if I click in there, I can move this around. So what I'm going to do, now we've got that set, I want this to jump around like a mad thing. So unfortunately, we can't animate inside pixel art, but we can produce a series of images out that we can take into this animated GIF maker that will turn it into an animated GIF. So first thing we're going to do is turn that background off so it's transparent. I'm going to take this image and we're going to save it out. So I'm going to click save, and you're going to see that I want to choose JPEG. Now, what I tend to do for this is I label them like 1, okay, because it's a sequence. So I'm going to keep it as JPEG 1. I'm going to put it in here, probably medium quality, just to make it so that it is quicker to load. You can just select that if you want to, or that. It's up to you. I'll put medium. JPEG. This image is image 1 of the sequence. So we're going to click download. It will download down here. Let me just clear that out. Just close that. Right, so I'm now going to take this and I'm going to move it up there. And I'm going to go to save. And we're going to go to JPEG, medium. Actually, I should have saved this as PNG, but don't worry. PNG carries the alpha. Sorry, guys, told you there. If you want it as a transparent, you need to do it as a PNG, okay? I'm going to keep it as a JPEG for now. I'm going to click download. I'm going to get this box, annoying box that comes up because we are using the free version. And then I'm going to move it down here. Do the same. Free. Let's do something a little bit different this time. Let's do change it. Now you've got to wait a certain amount of seconds. So I'm now going to take this text, move it about here, and I'm going to change the color. Let's change the color to a red and save it out. And just watch what happens when we produce it. I think this is 4. All right, that should have downloaded. That's good. So inside my download folder now, well, in my download folder now, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to go into the animated Gif Maker and I'm going to choose my files. And you can see it's loaded them up. So I'm going to select those. By the way, guys, if you press the control key on the keyboard, you can select multiple. Hold that control key and you can select multiple in different orders. Okay, so if you want to select between a range, you can click the top one, hold the shift key, and it will select all of them. So just a little tip for you there. So that control key, you can select them. I'm going to click open. It's going to load them in. So upload and make a GIF file. Let's do that. There they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, starting in the middle. And we have a delay time. Play around with this number. I'm going to click make GIF. And this is what we've got going on. Pretty crazy. So now I can save it. So I can click save. It's going to download it into my download folder. And here it is. Right, again, we can't see anything at the moment, but I'm going to now jump back into our editor and I'm going to put this one in. So let me just clone that one out. Go to my settings. Pick this new one. And just upload him. Click save, and you can already see it animating. So you can see I've got a lot more control using the animation method using Pixabay. And so now you know 2 methods. So if it's not working for you, if you're not getting the effect you want inside Canva, you can always use that method in Pixabay and use that animated Gif Maker to produce another type of animation. So how are we doing, guys? Any questions? All right. So Tracy said, I can think of so many uses for this. Yeah. So have you seen this stuff done before, guys? Is this old hat to you?
It's not old hat, but I've seen it. Now I know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's easy, isn't it? You know?
It is, but you can get carried away and all of a sudden 3 days have gone by and what did I get done?
Yeah, what I would say is keep it really simple. What you're doing here, in essence, is you're doing what's called stop motion. So stop motion was like, if you look at things like Wallace and Gromit, plasticine figures, they have a camera set up. The plasticine figures like this, they take one shot and they move the hand, take another shot, move the hand, another shot, another shot, another shot. So it looks like that. You know, so that's actually what you're doing with a GIF file. You're creating static images and you're getting them to display in a sequence that creates this animated GIF effect. So when you're doing this stuff, think in your head, God, I'm an animator, you know, I'm animating things because that's exactly what you're doing. It might be a very simple method, but it's been used for a long time, this method. And you could use this with, you know, if you have a camera, think about it this way. If you have a camera, and it's aimed at your desk, you could have a glass on the desk, take a photograph, move the glass a little bit, take another photograph and keep it, and then maybe spill it, take another one. You could put it into the Gif Maker and it would show the glass moving along without it being touched and then spill. So that is stop motion. So that's exactly what you're doing to create an animated GIF, if that makes it clearer to sort of understand. Okay, guys. Helen, you got a question?
Oh, yes. I've heard that Canva is going to be kind of adopted into New Zenler in some way, that you can go into New Zenler and then find Canva from there. Is that true?
Yeah, it's already in there. We're looking at more ways in which to utilize Canva. At the moment, personally, because you can create video cards in Canva directly from Zenler. You can also create course cards. So when you upload your course card to a course, you've got the option to design it in Canva. But, and this is the big but, I wouldn't use that. And the reason I wouldn't use it is because you can go back in and re-edit it. But if you want to use that course card with other courses, you can't pull it back in. So if you have your own Canva account, it's really easy to set a course card up. And I'll show you that now really quickly, Helen, because it's so easy to do it yourself and keep it all in your account. So I'm going to jump into that now before we carry on with more examples. And if I've got Canva here, let me just close this one on. What I do with course cards, video cards, I shoot all my video in HD. So my video size is 1920 by 1080, and that's the size that I use for course cards and for videos, and pretty much for any kind of block image that I have in my website. So this makes it really easy for me. I don't need to remember a plethora of different sizes. You know, the course card size is 860 by 480. The video size is 1920 by 1080. The whatever is this size, this size. No, just make it really simple for yourself, guys. Keep the settings and write this down, 1920 by 1080. That will work in Pro for course cards and videos, all right? Even if you shoot at standard HD, which is 720, it will still go down in size. So you'll make make your life a lot easier if you just stick to 1920 by 1080. Okay, now we're not talking about massive images that cover the whole of the top of your website. In that case, you need to go bigger. But I'm going to show you how to create a quick template for using for videos and using for course cards that you've got. So I'm going to come into here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the custom size, and I'm going to put in here 1920 by 1080. You'll notice that I hardly ever use those templates that are in Canva. I just prefer to set all my own size, and that's only because I've been doing this stuff for years. So you might want to pick one out the box, but I stick with 1920, 1080. It's really easy. So create a design. So now I've created the design in here. I can go and create. So let's, right, guys, I'm going to give you a chance to say, what do you want? What course card do you want me to create? What subject? Pick a subject. Dogs. All right, dogs is a good one. We like dogs. First one up, dogs it is. I was hoping you'd say dogs because I've got an idea later. But let's go to more in here, and you can see we've got photos. And I know there's a few dogs in here because there we go. Look at that lovely dog. And you can see these are pro. Some of them are free. Most of them are. That's a nice one. That looks like Rakesh's dog, Buddy. So here we go. I'm just putting it in here. And what you'll see is by the corners, I can just stretch it down, move it around. So I can get it to the size I want. So I'm going to say, right, I quite like it at that size. And I'm going to put him over here. And then I'm going to start to layer some stuff on top. So I'm going to do a very simple template, nothing major, but let's just choose a free shape here. And I've done this sort of design before, so I'm just doing this out really quickly. There's not a lot of thought. So I'm grabbing these corners and dragging it out. Now you'll notice that I'm coming off the canvas. And when I come off the canvas, it kind of disappears. It's still there, but it comes off the canvas. So if I click there, I can go right to the edge. So I've allowed myself a little bit of room to put some text. So I'm going to go in there and put it there. So I'm coming across the ear. That looks good. And then I might change the color. So I might decide that's quite nice, something a bit darker. And then I'll go and grab something like text, and I'll grab some sort of headline text. And then I'll grab some subline text here and put train your dog. Okay, and I'll select a color for that, make it white. Put it up there. I'm multiple clicking these. So when I click, let me show you, when I click there, if I hold the shift key, I can click both of them like that. So they're both selected. So it means now I can drag them both, right? People sort of forget to do that. And they're resizing each thing where they want to just resize them together. You can also group them. So this is another level. So if I wanted to keep this kind of lockup like this together, and I don't want to just select one and then use the shift to select another. What you can do is you can use the shift to select the other, and you can come over here and there's a little group icon here, little group. If I click group, that's now one group. So that means if I click it, I can just drag it around. Now you can ungroup it later if you want to, and then you've got a selection on both of them. So just so you guys know. So the other thing is here, I want another color just behind here, just to tint it. So I'm going to hold the Alt key and I'm going to drag. When you hold the Alt key and you drag on one of the characters, it creates a copy of that particular thing. So now I've pressed the Alt key, dragged it, I've got a new copy. I'm going to come in here and select something that's a bit brighter like that. Now I want this to go right to the back, not right to the back, but nearly to the back. I want it behind that other color. So I'm going to right hand click and I'm going to go send backwards. And you're going to see it's now appeared here, which means I can do a nice little offset there. And I've created a course card. So now all I would do to get this course card out is I go download, I'd pick a JPEG. That's what we tend to use. The size is correct. I'm going to click download. That's going to appear in my download folder. And close it off. You can see it's appeared in there. Okay, learn how to try. I should have trained your dog, but you get the idea. So now if I jump into my site, I could use this for various things. So I'm just going to jump to a course that I've got here, and I'm going to show you. I'm just going to use this one as a dummy course. So I've gone into course details. That's my card. See the size there, recommended size 860 by 480. I've got it 1920 by 1080. So here, Helen, is what you were talking about with design on Canva. Okay, but I would stay away from it. I would just do it in Canva. That way you can save it up. You're going to see in a minute, it's going to save that in my Canva account. I can reuse it as a template. So I'm just going to swap this out. I'm going to go change. I'm going to go learn how to training your dog. And you're going to notice in the corner, I can drag this out. And yeah, I'm going to notice, look, it's locking exactly to that size, even though it said 860, 480 by 860 or whatever it was. So it was saying it there, but it's the same pro ratio at 1920, 1080. So just by using that size, you can keep it the size same. So if I click crop and save, there it is. Beautiful course card. So also for something like videos that you've got in here, if I come into the media library, I'm not sure I've got any videos in here. I haven't, but the video size is the same. So if you want to use that video thumbnail that you create, you can use that one for both. Now, the beauty of this is that if I come back to my Canva account and I close this down, and then I create a new course next week, and I decide I want to use the same template. I want to use that same template on all of my courses, on my YouTube channel, my social media. You've got it inside your Canva account. So all you need to do is click here, and I'm going to create a new one now really quickly. I'm going to click here, duplicate page. So now I've got two. I can go learn how to train. The slowest bit is me. Your puppy, like that. Maybe I should have aligned it there. And then I'll change this color to something like a pinky color. Choose that one. Sometimes it can be a bit of a nightmare to choose this. Oh, there we go. So I can then choose a color that's going to complement that, which would be something like a light color. I can take this image, delete it out, look for a new image that I like the look of. Let's hope, oh, that's a nice one. Oh, there's a free one there. Not sure which one to go with. I quite like him. Yeah, let's choose him. All right, so I'm going to choose that, and then I'm going to right-hand click, and I'm going to send to the back. So instantly, I have a new course card created. So to get this course card out, I would go to download. I would choose JPEG. I would come into select all the pages. I don't want to download all of these. I just want to download the new one. So I'm going to turn that off there, and I'm just going to click page 2, and I'm going to click done, and I'm going to click download. And now that will pop up inside my download folder as a new course card. There we go. So you can rename it in here, and you've got it. So that's how quick you can work with Canva, as if you've got it as a template. So every time I need to go in here and add a new course card, I can just come into this and I can duplicate it out and add a new one, and I've got it all in one place. I'm using is consistent because I'm using the same font, the same colors, or the same style of colors throughout my site, and it makes life really easy for you. So hopefully that's answered your question, Helen. Any questions coming out of this?
Hello.
Right.
JPEG rather than PNG, does it make a difference?
Yeah, it does. Right. Okay. So PNG are they're normally a bigger file size because they carry an alpha channel. So this is going to be like, oh no, tech talk. When you're looking at web images, there will be RGB, so red, green, and blue. Okay, that's what a JPEG saves. So with red, green, and blue, you've got like 16 point something million colors to choose from. If you're using a PNG or even a PNG, you get RGB, but you also get A. And A is called an alpha channel, and an alpha channel is what is showing as transparent. So it's always bigger in size when you're using PNG files. There's different types of PNG files, but that's the crux. If you're using a flat image and you do not want transparency, do not save as a PNG file, save it as a JPEG. If it's a flat image, save it always as a JPEG, okay? And it's even better than a GIF because a GIF has a smaller color palette than a JPEG. That's as technical as I'm going to get with this stuff. Does that make sense? Good, right. Right, so everyone's happy with this. I heard the NZ, yes, it has direct connection with Canva. It's true, but like I said, it will save out you can go into Canva, but you don't save because you're using Zenler's Canva. Well, you're using your own, but it doesn't save it into anywhere that's easy to find. I just find it easier just to, I mean, how long did that take? You know, if you've got a template set up, you can just produce these and just put them straight into the platform. That's how I prefer to work. So Tracy's got, I can think of so many uses for this. No, gifts are new. All right, dogs, right. Okay, so we're ready to move on. All right. So let's look at the next thing then. I'm going to move on quickly with this. So I've talked about Canva here. And next thing we've got is this. So images. Right. So one thing I noticed when I was using Pixel Art today is with bigger images, it does kind of lag. It was really taking time to do this stuff. Now, like I said, I use Photoshop, so it's on my machine, it's really quick, but online software can, when it's as complicated as something like Pixel Art, which is dealing with images, it can bog down a little bit. So you might have to play around and test it yourself. But we're going to basically do something like this owl. So I'm going to go to the next site, which you should always go to, which is Pixabay. And we're going to grab some images and load them into Pixel Art. So I have some lovely images in here, and I have one of a caiman lizard that I'm going to show you in a minute what I'm going to do with it. But this is the owl one that I've got here. And I thought this is quite a good one to pick because it sort of shows you what I need to show you. So before we move on, just before we actually move on to me downloading this, I'll download it now, but I want to show you in Pixabay, you can find images that are already cut out, already transparent, which is really handy if you need to cut things out. I think these are cut out here. I'm not sure, but they look like they are already cut out. So I'm going to download this. I always, when I'm downloading anything, I always go for the biggest size and then bring it into pixel art. But because it was slowing down the machine earlier when I was trying some of these bigger images, I'm going to have to use something a bit smaller. So I'm going to go to 640 by 426. Actually, I might go to, actually, let's go to 1920, 1280. I can resize it in pixel art. It'd be good to show you. So I'm going to click download. So it's going to go registered user. Okay, here we go. It wasn't doing this earlier. Okay, so download. So that'll download down here. And at the same time, I'm going to grab one of these little images here. This looks like, oh, it's a stock image. Don't want to use a stock image. It's going to cost me money. We don't want that, do we? So I'm going to go to owl, hit enter. And I'm going to, under here, we have some different options. A lot of people, they just search for their images in Pixabay and they don't look at these things here. And it's really good because under here, you have one that says transparent. So whenever it says transparent, it means that it's going to be something cut out, which can make your life easy because if you've got a background and you want, say, a person in that background cut out, it's already done for you. So if I click transparent now and I click go, it's going to give us all owls that are cut out already or on transparent backgrounds. So I might find a funny one to go with the owl I've already got. So let's choose this one here. And you can see it is transparent, it's cut out. So I'm going to choose that size, it's going to be good. And notice it's a PNG file. So like John was mentioning, JPEG or PNG, PNGs usually will be transparent backgrounds. So I'm going to click download to that. Click I'm not a robot. Crosswalks. Okay. So now in my folder, I have the owl and I have that owl. So let me just delete this out and go into pixel art. So we're in here and I'm going to just click open image. Let's choose the owl, click open. Okay, now I want to resize this because it was really slowing down when I was using it earlier. So I'm going to go to image. Hopefully you guys won't have to do this, but I'm going to go to image size, and I'm going to set this on about 800 and click apply. It's going to make it smaller. Again, I can view it here. That's the size of it. So pixel art, again, we stacked things earlier. You saw how it works, but say I want to just close that one off. Okay. I want to bring in that transparent owl there. So this is where it gets fun because I'm going to open it and click that. There he is. So I want to select all. So I'm going to go select all. I'm going to go to edit. I'm going to go to copy. Okay. I'm going to jump into this. I'm going to go paste. Oh, okay. Right. What I noticed with this is it throws an error up sometimes when you paste it in. It'll actually put something. Oh, that's all right. Okay, so now that image is really big, so I need to resize it. So I've used this little selection tool, then use the control minus. You're going to zoom out, and I'm going to bring this in. So we're going to get our little owl. On there, like that. So that's the beauty of using something that's cut out for you. So you can put him on top. Now I'm going to turn him off for now because we want to do our first effect. So our first effect is going to be to create this kind of look here. It's really easy to do. We're going to go in and where are we? And I'm going to create a new empty layer. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to choose empty layer. So you see that empty layer, that's the layer I'm working on. Then I'm going to use a paintbrush here and I'm going to change the size of that brush and make it quite big. Notice the softness as well. This is the softness. So it's sharp or it's soft or it's feathered. Okay. So let's make it a little bit bigger than this. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to choose a lighter color blue here. And I'm on that layer and I'm going to start to paint over the top here. It's taking a little bit of time. Okay, now I'm going to go to another color. I'm going to pick an orange. So you can have some real fun with this. You're going to see the effect in a minute as I'm painting over the top. I can apply a blending mode to this. So let's go to a purpley color here. All right. Maybe a green, just go crazy with this stuff. All right. So it doesn't look very good at the moment, but under here, if I click this little 3 dots, it will open a little tab up and it will give you a mode. So you can apply different effects. So modes are you put a layer over the top of another layer, and that mode might be only show it on darker areas compared to that color or on lighter areas. There's lots of different modes. You need to play around with them because I'm not going to go into them all, but you've got all these modes down here. The one we're going to pick is called overlay. Now, when I hit this, you're going to see a big change on the image. So let's click overlay and there we go. We got this amazing effect going in over the top, and that's just by using that. There's lots of different types that you've got multiply. These are all used for different reasons, but overlay is quite good. You can also change the intensity of that down there. So you might just introduce a little bit of color just to give it a little, make it look a little bit unusual. And that is how we created this image here. Simple as that, really easy. Good effects, and you might find a use. This could be really good, like if you're doing something like a fitness courses, and you might have lots of people jumping around. You might want to add these splash of colors over the top of people just to give it a kind of energetic feel. So doing it inside pixel art is really easy. Again, we can export this out. We go down here to save. We save it as a JPEG, medium resolution. Click download, and that will appear inside my folder here like this. So really easy stuff, guys. And we can also go in here. I'm going to turn this off now. And if I wanted to make this image black and white, again, really easy. Come in here. I'm going to click the 3 little dots. I'm going to go duplicate layer. And now I've got that duplicated. I'm going to come up here to image, and I've got to find it, guys. So I'm going to come across to adjustments, and I can go down to hue and saturation, and I can desaturate it like that and click apply. I can also change the levels. So the levels are the lightest part and the darkest part in a image. So you can actually change the levels. You can move the mid-range colors darker or lighter. You can actually crunch the darkest color or the lightest color. So again, it's really easy to do in Pixel Art. You can go to adjustments, and we can go down to what's called levels. So here's the midpoint, here's the lightest part, here's the darkest part of this image. This thing is called a histogram, by the way. So if I was to move this, you're going to see some changes. We're darkening it off, giving it a more of a moody feel. And I could also move the mid colors towards the dark colors. It's all really simple stuff, but this is, this is basically photo editing on a simple level. You can also move that across as well. Click apply. So now we've got a lovely black and white image. What if I wanted a kind of vignette? So a vignette would be like darkened edges around the outside. You can probably guess what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here, create an empty layer on top of this layer, and then I can use something like the paint bucket here, drop black in here, and then I'm going to go and choose the eraser. So I've got the eraser, I'm going to come into here, increase the size of my brush and the softness. Let's go a little bit mad with this. Now I've got a big brush size in here, probably too big. Can't see the border of the brush. Ah, that's good. And I can come in here and I can start to reveal it around here. And now I've got a vignetted effect, and I can come into this and I can take that down a little bit. So you've got that kind of effect going across there. You can also go into here. And if it's too much, I can take it and just bring it out a bit. Like that. Now also, what nice to do, what if I want to sort of keep some of it black and white, but I want a little bit of the color underneath to sort of show through? Well, I can do that as well. I can take this image and I can use the eraser tool, and I can just, on this image, I can erase out part of the black and white. So now I'm introducing some of the coloring from the underneath color. So I can go up there. And there you go. So really quick pixel art. Again, if you love this image, you can go in, save it, JPEG, medium, download, bang, it's done. And I've saved that inside here, like that. All right, how are we doing? Everyone up with me? This is great. I'm going to look great on my profile photos. Yeah, exactly. Tracy, you know, guys, you can take it. You can take photographs of yourself and you can just play around with these tools. There's also things like cloning tools as well, where you can take part of an image. You need to have a play. That's the best way to learn these things, is just like to have fun with it. I don't know in here all of the tools. I haven't had a good play with it. But if I click, this is magnifying glass, by the way, but there's a little tool here that says clone. So if I click that clone tool, I should, no, I've not done this, so I'm testing it out. So I think you click here to set.
Could you share your screen, please, David?
Oh, I'm not sharing it. Oh, sorry, guys. Right. Great. Right. So there's a clone tool here. So if you've got your image up, so I'm on this layer. If I want to clone part of this image, create kind of almost a copy of it, you can select part of it. So you select the clone tool and you set a start point. So if I say that eye there, I'm going to click in the eye, and you're going to see now I've got a brush. Now, if I come right over here, it's going to sample this bit and clone it. You see that? So what I can do now is I could select that part of the image. I could cut it, Control X. Oh, pulled it out, doesn't matter. Control V, I'll paste it back again. So let's put it on a new layer. Then I could use something like the eraser tool. Oops, with a smaller brush size. I'm used to Photoshop showing me being able to change it really quick. Oh, there it is. So I can go in here. Let's just show you. This is how people create these crazy monsters and things, you see. You can just go in, grab an extra eye, then use the move tool and kind of really kind of spooky double eye. You know, that kind of thing. And by the way, we've got undo on this as well. So if you press Control Z, you can actually undo the moves. So loads of fun you can have with this. There's just so much that you can do. It's unbelievable. You can also take this image here. And again, you can't break anything. You're just playing around. So if I take this and I duplicate this layer out, we can also play with things like the adjustment. So things like hue and saturation. So I could take the saturation and really whack up the saturation on here, which doesn't seem to have done a lot. Oh, it's weird. Maybe I've blown it up. But you can saturate it up and then reduce, take some of it away, and then you get this kind of effect that happened. Okay, but now I want to show you about this, because this is this will really help you, I think. So things like, because people like colors going off colors. Now you could have a line in here, you know, like we created the course card where it's got that angular piece of solid color. You could do the same for this as well if you wanted to. So it's up to you how you want to work with it. I'm just going to use a gradient, and we're going to see a different, we're going to create two images. One's going to be for the landscape, one's going to be for mobile, so desktop, tablet, and a mobile version. And it's really easy to do with Pixel R doing this stuff. So I'm going to take this image, I'm going to create a new empty layer, and I'm going to choose a color. I'm going to choose something a little bit different. I'm going to turn that vignette off, and I'm going to choose maybe a kind of pinky color. So what I'm going to do is I've chosen a color inside Pixel R. So I need to make sure that the color that I use inside of Zenler is the same color. So when I'm picking this color, I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it, Control C, or you can write it down, put it into a notepad or something. So I've copied that. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to go to my brush palette now and choose a brush size that's going to work with this. So let's make something a little bit bigger than that. Okay. I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to hold the Shift key. I'm going to come down the bottom and I'm going to click again. Now I've created a graduation going across it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click in here and I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to name this something so I know. So I'm going to go owl and then right fade. Okay, and I'm going to click download. Okay, that's done. Close that. Makes you wait. Then we're going to create a new empty layer. And yeah, I think you're going to guess what I'm going to do next. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it along here. So I'm going to do this. There we go. And I'm going to click Save. And this one will be bottom fade. It's a JPEG. Download. All right. So it took 2 seconds to do that. We got that one and we got that one. Let's jump into our page editor, and we're going to create a new block. So I'm going to come down here and create a 50-50 row like this. I'm then going to edit this, and I'm going to add a row inside it. And the reason I've added a row inside it is it gives me a little bit of additional control, because I've got the outer row that I can play with. I've also got an inner row that I can play with, because each of them have different settings. Like if I click there, this is a single row. If I click here, this is the 1 row, 2 columns. So inside this inner one, I'm going to go and grab my image that I just created. I'm going to start off with the right-hand fade. So I want the right-hand fade, which is that one. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to upload without crop. And there it is there. Now inside here, this main block, I'm going to put background color. Remember, we copied that color. There it is. And there it is. So I'll put something in here for now. Just put some heading text. Something like that. Okay, so I now want this to just go to the edge. So I'm going to grab this inner row. You can actually do it with the image as well. And I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to start to put some stuff in here. I'm going to put a negative top value of 10, and I'm going to put a negative bottom value of negative 10. So negative 10, negative 10. What that's done is it's spread it down to the bottom. And then for the left alignment, I'm going to put a negative value of about 20, and it will take me right to the edge. So now what I've done is I've created this the same as this, but it's in there. So if I click save, we have done our first part. If we look at this in desktop and in tablet, it's going to look good. Oh, I didn't do it in the, what's going on? It's because I was working in tablet mode, which I shouldn't have done. Silly mistake. There we go. Right. Okay. So this is what we've got. So this is how it's going to look in desktop. As we move it down, what happens in the responsive way that Zenler works is it will take this block and it will keep it at the top, and this block it will drop underneath. If we do that, it's then not going to look good because this blend is over on the right hand side. So we don't want to do that. So this is how it looks in tablet. Looks good. And this is how it looks in mobile, which doesn't look good because we've got the blend on that side and we don't want it on that side. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide an image and show an image. So I'm going to come back to desktop, and you should always start with desktop. Okay. So I'm going to come into here now, and I'm actually going to clone that image out, and I'm going to select that image, and in the settings here, I'm going to go and swap it over for the other image. So let's go and upload the bottom image now. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have cropped it. Silly. It would still work, but let's change it. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now this will show. So I want this to show inside of tablet, inside of mobiles. So I'm going to click here to hide on desktop and to hide on tablet. Notice it's disappeared. Right, this image, I want to hide it on mobiles. So I'm going to go back into the settings. I'm going to hide on mobiles. It's still staying there. So now if I switch between devices, you're going to see on desktop, it's fine. If I then go to mobile, it's going to swap to this image. So now I'm in here, I can make a few modifications. So I can come into the image itself and I can tell it to be closer to the top and have some spacing, negative spacing here. Here, this always gets a bit tricky. Well, that'll do. Right, let's have a look at this now. So I'm going to refresh this, and we have our little image here. If I change it, we have this working better. It's swapping over. Yeah, there's some alignment issues with this. It does take a little bit of fiddling around with, for sure. So let me just. That's better. Okay. Let me just do -20 that side, -20 that side. Click save. And that should be it. And we are bringing in Page Builder 2.0. There we go. So when we bring Page Builder 2.0, these kind of negative value settings and things, there's going to be a lot more choice to push things out and around. But you can see the effect now. So we've got this here, and quickly producing that side fade, we can produce two versions of it. One that's effective inside of mobiles, and the other which is effective inside of both tablet and desktop. So that's going to be really handy for you to work out. So that fade, we just basically choose that color. We made sure we had that same color. And if you forget to copy that color, it's really easy to pick a color. You can just use the color picker, come back to pixel art, open the image up. And if you click in here and click, it will change and it will give you that hexadecimal number. So if I wanted to choose this background color here, I could choose that, come into there and then grab that number and put that directly into the editor inside of Zenler. So there you go, guys. That's all I've got to share with you, unless you need me to do anything else. All good?
Request. How do you make a, you know, the owl with the transparency behind it? Is that easy to do, like from a photograph?
Yeah. It's a little bit harder. No, really good question, John. And in fact, I meant to cover it. So kudos to you again. Right. Let's have a look how I can cut something out, because it's really easy to do it. And like John was mentioning earlier, like, you know, using PNG files or JPEGs. So I'm going to jump back into Pixel Art now, and I'm going to grab one of these images. So I've got let's take the face of the owl and let's do that as a transparent, because, you know, you might want to take the face of an owl and just stick it in various places, because, you know, that's what we like to do. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to duplicate it. Always work non-destructively. So working in a non-destructive manner means you're not breaking the original image. So every time you're doing things, you're doing a copy of it. We can turn it off and delete things out, but don't delete out the original images you're working on. This is called working non-destructively. And that goes the same for your Zenler site. If you've got a page that you've set up, do a duplicate page of it, try things out, and then you've got a new version. And then if you need to make more changes, you duplicate it out. So you're working in a non-destructive manner. A lot of people work on the original, and then Zenler's good because you've got a revision history. You can go back and undo things. But if something terrible happened, you wouldn't lose it if you'd have made a duplicate of it. And exactly the same philosophy should be employed in everything that you do as far as media creation. So create duplicates if you can. So I've created a duplicate now, and we're going to cut him out. So I've turned all the layers off. Notice that I've turned all the layers off. So I'm just working with this one here. So let's cut him out. Now, the tools inside of Pixel Art are not the best in the world for cutting things out. But you can do it. So I'm going to press Control+ to zoom in. You need to be nice and tight on the figure that you're working on. So there's a few tools for cutting things out. One, we have the Lasso Tool, and this will, if I cut through this, I'm just going to do a little line, and then I'm going to just hit the delete button. So it's cut it out. The thing is that it's really sharp. If I get rid of the edges, you can see it's really sharp. What would be good, and what you should do if you're cutting things out, is to have a slight amount of feather on it, because when you put it onto another image or color, it will fade in slightly at the edge and it won't look like it's been cut out of a magazine. The biggest, when you look at sites and you see these things that have been stuck on, unless it's been done on purpose and it looks like it's been stuck on, it's usually because they haven't put a little bit of feathering. Because what happens is it's called anti-aliasing. Because it's slightly feathered, the color behind it will make it look like it's part of it. You only need a little bit, but it makes a massive difference. So when you're cutting an image out, make sure that you have a little bit of feather. I normally put a value in of about 2 on here. And if I cut out another version now with 2 turned on and I hit it, there is a slight bit of edging. Can you see that? It's just very slightly. I might go a little bit more with this. Actually, I might go to about, let's go extreme, just so you see. I'm going to put 10 in here, and then I'll cut it out, because then you'll really see the effect. So cut it out, deselect. Notice it's really blurred at the edges. So I think a value of probably in here of about 4 will probably work really well. So you can use the lasso tool, and you can start to cut around like this. Not very good, but I'm not finished yet. So you can cut around like that, and then you can cut it out. The other tools that you can use is you can use the magic wand tool. So the magic wand tool will take a color, and working under a tolerance, wherever you put your first click, it will sample that color. And based on the tolerance, it will spread that out. So if I have a tolerance of 32 and click in here, it's done a pretty good job, but it's selecting lots of the bird, which I wouldn't want. So if I set this tolerance lower, and I'm getting rid of these marching ants by holding the control and pressing D once. So if I put the tolerance lower to something like 8, and then I click in here, it's going to select far less. But I can use the add to selection to start adding to it. So notice I'm adding to it, and it's now giving me quite a good cut round the bird, like that. I don't care about these little bits. And now I'm going to delete out. So I'm going to hit the delete button, Control D to get rid of those. And I've got this cut out. Now, also notice I didn't have feather turned on, and I should have, because it's giving me this really harsh cutout. So I'm going to undo myself a couple of times, press Control D to get rid of that. I'm going to set this on, what do we set it on? 4 or 5, 4, hit enter. And now it should be a better. So I'm going to press that, add to selection. And that will do. Let's delete that out. Control D, and I've got a softer cut on that edge. Now, to get rid of all this rubbish around the outside, I'll use the lasso tool. I'll just come around here like this, off the canvas, round off the top of the canvas, back in, and then just hit delete and Control D. Now I've got a cut out bird. There's also a little bit of rubbish around there as well, so I'll get rid of that. And now I can export this out. So in this case, I wouldn't export out as a JPEG. I'd export as a PNG file, because I want to keep that outside. So if I go to export here, I can export, quick export image as a PNG, or I can click save, choose PNG in here. If you choose JPEG, it will give you a white background. Choose that now. I'm going to call this owl cut out. And we've got the size, click download. And there he is there in my folder. So let's just go back into the editor. And let's put him in somewhere. Okay. Just use one row and add an image. Upload my owl. There he is, cut out, click open. I could actually crop that. I'll do it without. Okay, so he's right against the edge, this owl. Where is he? There he is. That's good. So I can now choose this. And now this is the beauty of having something to cut out. I can go and choose a background color or an image. And it's going to be against that image. Looks lovely. So I could even choose a background image here. Let's choose this mobile phone. And it will appear on top of it. Or red. you know, whatever. So that's how to do it. That's how to cut out. And I know a lot of you guys like to know about that as well. It's a little bit fiddly to get a really good cut inside here. The other tools that you can use are, you have the lasso tool, but you also have these polygon tools, and these can be quite good because you can actually click and then it pulls a line out. So you can sort of do this really slowly. Cutting things out, making it look nice is actually a real art form, especially when you start working with things like hair. So I could take that. Now, also the other thing is, apart from cutting it out, I can make an adjustment to just this part of the eye. So if I was to come in and create an empty layer, I could fill it with something like a green. I'm going to switch these colors, press Control D, and then I could apply one of the blending modes and give it that color. So that's another reason why you might want to practice using these lasso tools, the polygon tool, the Bezier, which Bezier tool allows you to kind of pull lines out from it. I don't really use that too much, to be honest. And you've also got the magnetic tool. A magnetic tool is quite weird because it will actually try and snap to the edge. Do you see how it's snapping to those colors as you go around it? This can be quite good to cut things out as well. You just go around and it tries to snap to the edge of things. Very good with things like walls and stuff. You can go around the edge of that and then you can get something cut out like that. So that's how it works. Double click to end it. There we go. So I think you guys have got enough to play around with now, haven't you? Does that answer your question, John?
Thank you, David. Yes, it does. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you did the little one that I sent you. So I need to go. My grandson playing the ukulele.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've got to do. I'll actually be using Photoshop to do that. I won't be using this program because Photoshop, there's it's really well, it is more advanced. You can select areas and I do masking on it and these things. You don't need to know that. But with what you guys need to know, you can get pretty much professional quality designs and things done. You just need to spend maybe a little bit more time getting to know the program. But I think pixel art is really good because you can have a lot of fun just playing around with things. There's loads of stuff like inside here. There's filters that you can play with up here. They've got lots of these kind of weird filters, inner glows. This is quite good if you want that kind of half tone effect. You know, you can set, these are instant things that you can do. So you can get that kind of cartoon magazine type look. You can just put it in there and click apply and it's done, you know. And then you've got things like here, which is called Liquify, which allow you to come over this and kind of like play around with stuff. So you can go, ooh, make the eye look, give it like that. So I could save out one image as in normally, and then I could save out another image with his eye really big. And then you would have an animated GIF with his eye going, you know, you can have real fun with this stuff, you know. And it's pretty easy, isn't it? You know, what have we done in like an hour and a half? And we've covered quite a lot of different things, different effects that you can do using Canva. So creating animated GIFs for like impact, how we can take an image, how we can cut things out, you know, how we can set up responsive behavior for images depending on how you want them to look. So I think we've covered a lot. And unless you guys want any, you've got a specific question, I'm going to end it. Are you all okay?
This is really good, David. Just shows us what's possible. You know, when you're looking at those tools, you don't know that you can do all this kind of stuff. So this is wonderful. I expect we'll be coming back to the replay of this again and again.
Yeah, I think so. And I think like if you do play around with it, if you want to send me a PM, you want to say, right, okay, well, I've done that. And a lot of you are doing this stuff and you've reached your limitations and you think, right, I really want to be able to do that. I really want to take something to a higher level. Then if you let me know, then maybe I can contact everybody that's in this live workshop and we can do a level 2. That might be cool. So if you're using this stuff and you are stuck, make sure that you tell me, and then and then maybe we can take it a stage further, because I'd like to start showing things. I'm playing around a lot with lots of free video editing software, green screen removals, all this sort of stuff, and effects as well, some effects software. But I'm looking for free versions because I use professional stuff, but I'm looking for good to use free software like Pixabay, you know, because it's then we can go even further with this stuff. We can take this stuff to another level. So it's all coming, but yeah, let me know how you're all getting on as well with it. Not many talkative people today.
Just imagining what we could do. I'm thinking of the instructors that we're going to have for our workshops, for instance. You know, they send us pictures with a lot of stuff in the background, and using what you just showed us, I could take all that stuff out, and then what shows up on the website is just them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you're getting if you're getting photographs taken, try to, now knowing what you know, right? When you get photographs taken of yourself, if you want to put stuff in the background, like your branding, lots of people do put their branding on the wall behind them or something. When you get a photo taken, just find a wall that is white or kind of magnolia, stand away from the wall, and with the camera, take the photographs, because what will happen is it will blend out the background because you're being focused and the background will not. So when you take it into something like Pixel, you'll use that magic wand and it will cut you out beautifully. So that's a little tip. So try not to keep cluttering the background or like books and these sort of things, because you'll have to cut them all out. But if you can photograph it against something. So another one would be a great one to do is like if you've got someone taking a photograph of you and you're up the top of a mountain or you're on a wall or something, there's a lovely blue sky behind you. If you take a photograph of that to get rid of that blue sky is so easy. It just comes out perfectly when you cut it out using these magic wands. So it's just something to think about. Now you know what you can do, you can start to think, how can I use this? You know, how can I, maybe you'll do the thing with like a little glass moving along and falling off the table, or a little pencil moving, or you'll write something on a bit of paper. You'll scribble, you'll start to draw someone's face or something, take a photograph, draw a little bit more, take a photograph, and then take it through the Gif animator and see how it comes out. So be creative with this stuff, you know? And yeah, I can't wait. You've got to send me, if you're doing this stuff and you've created something really good and really funny, then please send it to us or post it on the Facebook group, because people will love to see it, and that you're actually doing things that we're talking about on the workshop. That'd be brilliant. All right, guys, so I'm going to let you go now. It's the end of another Sunday workshop. So I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, good to see all the new people and the regulars as well. And I've recorded it, so it will go into the replay page, which will go out to you tomorrow. And of course, it will go onto our YouTube channel as well. But guys, take care, and I'll speak to you all soon. Hopefully I'll see you next week on the next live. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but it's
another great one.
Good. It's going to be good, whatever it is. All right. See you later. Bye.